decided that I'd do a short little video about the mount for the Xiaomi Yi that I've been testing for multi-rotor mania. It's designed by Robert or PlasticSpider, and I was lucky enough to get the chance to review this, and I really appreciate that. And it's been fun to do. The first mount that I received is this one, and originally the cutout that was here was fine for just the Xiaomi Yi with just the standard lens on it, but there wasn't room for the cheap lens protector that you can get for the camera in that cutout. So I made my own custom, sort of rough cut, but not too bad cut out here just to give some relief for that to fit, and that ended up working pretty well. Robert said he knew the original prototype mount that they sent the dip here for the power button was a little bit off, but absolutely didn't affect any functionality at all. I went ahead and decided to make a cutout in the back of the mount here, which essentially sits right over where the USB cable as well as the micro SD card slot goes on the camera. I basically leave the camera in the quad all the time, and I typically end up strapping it in with a zip tie. And so without this cutout, essentially anytime that I wanted to remove the micro SD card to get some footage off of the camera, or even plug it into charge, I would have had to snap a zip tie and take the camera out and then just essentially go through an eternal supply of zip ties. So I decided to do that, and for me that works quite well. Robert said initially the reason why they didn't want to make that cutout was specifically to cover over the micro SD card slot, because they had a concern about the SD card slot allowing the micro SD card to eject in crashes, which my understanding is quite a problem on the Mobius camera that happens all the time. Since I've had the Xiaomi Yi, I've had quite a number of crashes, some of them pretty hard. I've never had the SD card eject even one time without me intentionally pushing it in and taking the card out since I've had the camera. So to me, it's absolutely not a concern. So I went ahead and cut that out. The original mount, the hole spacing between the front and the back, and possibly the side-to-side dimensioning was a little bit long, at the very least for the R6 H250 frame. I'll be honest, I don't know if there's any dimensional difference between the top plate on this and the standard ZMR 250 top plate, but for mine it was a little bit too long, and when it was mounted it allowed the mount to move around a fair bit. There was a easy side-to-side movement of the mount and front and back movement of the mount. So my first test flight had a lot of jello in it. Just as my test, I then took some of this double-sided outdoor mounting tape, and where you see the black Sharpie lines there, I just put mounting tape there, and obviously leaving a cutout for the strap location there so that your strap wouldn't get stuck to the mounting tape when you were pushing it through. And then I put it back on the quad with that mounting tape, and the video was essentially perfect after that. Any vibration that was left was probably just down to my PID tuning, which I'm not yet an expert on, but they're not too bad. So after testing this and sending some feedback and some photos of what I thought would be good things to Robert, he went ahead and made some of the changes. Obviously he opted not to make this cutout on the back, and I certainly understand that, but it's extremely easy to do yourself just with an X-Acto knife and some scissors. So I got the second mount in the mail just the other day, and went ahead and got this put on. The cutout now is absolutely perfect for the Yi lens protector. It fits without any issues at all. The cutout for the power button is also perfect now, and the shortened distance that he made between the mounting points front and back, and I believe side to side, was shortened by like 1 millimeter, I think, on each end. And when you mount the mount to the quad now, you have to stretch it out just a little bit to get the bolt holes to actually go in, but because of that, it fits much more firmly to the quad now. There's still a little bit of side-to-side movement, but front and back it's pretty good. So I'm going to test fly this without putting any mounting tape on it yet. There's not any under there at this point, and see whether or not I get any jello. Hopefully this one will be good without having to put the mounting tape, because that's of course extra weight. But if there is even a little bit left, I'm more than happy to put a little bit of mounting tape under there just to make sure that the video is good. The only other custom thing I did was because of how I have my camera lowered in the frame, and I have the low standoffs on it. I have cut out on the carbon fiber top plate to allow my FPV camera to get enough angle to fly the way I fly. And so I just essentially did some Sharpie marking on the underneath side of that and went ahead and cut that out with an X-Acto knife as well. And it's not 100% perfect, but it looks pretty good and it's extremely functional, which is always my prime goal. So if it doesn't rain tomorrow because of this stupid tropical storm, hopefully I can get out and fly some tomorrow and see how well the video comes out. And if it's got any jello left in it, I'll just add a little bit of mounting tape and be happy. But anyway, that's the Xiaomi Yi mount that soon should be available from Romania, and it's really nice and it feels really quite strong, and it's flexible unlike all the other 3D printed mounts. It's TPU, and so the flexibility really makes it much more durable for the kind of shocks and impacts and everything that the quad takes when it crashes. So we're hoping this one will be quite durable and last well, and I'm very happy to have it.